Hello, Guildies, and welcome to just a quick little preview of WildStar for those of you that haven't had an opportunity to play it. So this is the character select screen. As you can see, I've got a few characters over here. Really, Cronin here is my main, obviously. We've got Maddie Pants, she's an Esper, I'll show you her later, and then I've got Delaney, who is a Stalker. Then Beowulf, who is an engineer, who I really haven't played around with all too much, but from what I've seen, they look pretty fun. So we're going to go ahead and go into the game with Cronin. He is a spell slinger. So I know that one of the main complaints about this game is how cartoonish it looks. And that was one of my main complaints as well. However, after playing it for a while, I find that you kind of get used to the cartoonish piece, and it kind of looks, kind of endearing. The graphics are great, and the gameplay far from makes up for it quite a bit. So this is my spell slinger. I'm just outside the main capital town of the Exiles, which are the good guys, or the brown coats for you Firefly fans. And I've got a couple of quests here. That I'm working on. I've got to go back here and talk to one of these guys to actually turn in a quest. I've got another quest over here where I get to go stick basically cows with cattle prods, which is kind of fun. I've got a few other quests around here that I can get. Over here is the first dungeon, which is accessible at level 20. There is also things called adventures, which are kind of like choose your own adventure books, so to speak, if you remember those things. You basically get to pick which quests you do, and how you do what quests you do to determine the outcome of the overall adventure. There's typically 3 phases to it. It's designed for 5-man groups. They're a lot of fun. I did one today, and it was just a blast. So, but enough of me talking. Let's get down to showing you some of the combat that WildStar has to offer. So this guy is a spell slinger. Spell slingers are ranged DPS, utilizing 2 pistols. They are also healers. They're a very mobile class. They wear light armor, so they can tend to be a bit of a glass cannon at times. But they've got a lot of abilities that help them get away from, or get out of trouble, and stun their enemies. So let's take a look at this bull over here. He saw me. He's thinking about whether or not he wants to charge me or not. It's probably not a good idea. So each class has their own special class ability. For the spell slingers, it's called Spell Surge, and that's right here. So what this does is it gives me a boost to all my assault and support abilities, so my healing and or my attack abilities. Just kind of demonstrate how that works. I'm going to go ahead and hit Astral Infusion. This is a targeted heal, or if I don't have a target, it will heal myself. So there you go. It's a big heal plus a small heal over time for every 2 seconds for up to 4 seconds to an ally. So basically, you get 3 heal over time hits after the first hit. So 7 seconds on the recharge time. Alright, so now it's recharged. So now I'm going to go ahead and hit my Spell Surge. Alright. So if you look, that was almost double the amount of healing.
Best shot.
Right? So that's kind of nice sometimes. It comes in handy. Now you can only use Spell Surge a limited amount of times based upon how much focus you have. And your focus rebuilds slowly in combat, but pretty quick out of combat. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to wait for my spell surge to kind of calm down. No, wait, it's not going to until I make an attack. So, haha. So I'm going to attack this guy right here. I'm going to use a charged attack. This is a, these are attacks where the spell surge cannot move. He has a couple of them. They're typically best used after you stun somebody. But I'm just going to go ahead and lead off with one right now. So you can see my telegraph here. This is where, if the bad guys are standing in it, they're going to get hit. So I've charged it, and I released it. And now we're fighting. Oh, and one of the stealth classes, the Stalkers, just popped out of stealth and stabbed that guy in the back for me. Here we go. Here's some giant ass honeybees. Let's kill some of these guys. So again, I'm going to kick off a spell surge. Here's another stationary ability. It's kind of like a active channel. So I can hit the button 2 or 3 times, depending on so obviously I can't, for some reason I can't attack while I'm pushing the talk, so which kind of sucks. So I'm just kind of kiting around doing absolutely nothing right now. So just hold on a second. Alright. That's not necessarily a problem with the game, it's just a problem with my keybinds, because of the way I've got my push to talk button set up. Something I can have to fix on my own. So, anywho, alright, I'm going to go ahead and kill these 2 guys, and you're going to see an example of a couple of the different abilities. A couple of stationary abilities. One of them's right here. This is kind of like a channel multi-tap ability, they call it. So, I'll actually lead off with it, and what you'll see is you'll see a little gauge right here in the center of my screen that will say, okay, so hit 1, hit 2, hit 3, hit 4, and it's going to start counting down. I have until that gauge counts down to finish the combo, okay? So here we go. I'm going to use one of my dash or interrupt abilities. Now you see how he I did that when he was casting a channel? And then as soon as I hit him with it, he turned purple. That means that he is exposed, so to speak. So if you interrupt one of their big attacks, then they will become exposed and they take more damage. Now one thing that they did is they gave bosses interrupt armor. Interrupt armor means that they might have 3 interrupt armor, or 4 interrupt armor, or 5 interrupt armor. That means that you've got to hit them with 3 or 4 or 5 interrupts in order for them to actually be interrupted in something. It's kind of nice. It's a good mechanic that kind of requires some teamwork on the part of the group to understand who's going to be interrupting first, second, third, fourth, all that fun stuff. And it kind of makes for more of a challenging event. Now, let me go ahead and I'm going to get this Honey Sting Hive Bomber again. I kind of want to show you what some of the bad guy telegraphs look like. Alright, there's a fairly easy telegraph to avoid. It's kind of short, very small. Now see that one? So that is a conal front attack with a backward dash attack. If you saw it kind of extended out from the front and the back of the V there. So the telegraphs are nice because they kind of have, see that little gauge going up there? Oh, oh. That means that that tells you the countdown for when the interrupt is, or when the attack is going to go off. It also gives you the area that it's going to be in. And I'm done messing around with these guys, so I'm going to kill them. So these are one of the cows that I have to prod with a prodder. Now over here is my quest. Up top here is my main quests. Right now I'm doing a storyline called Trouble at Nibbin's Ranch. So you have your stories right there, and each story is going to have a different name, and they'll have their own quests, and you can have multiple stories up at once. And then you've got tasks. Tasks are missions that you pick up in the world, like you might find a canister or a data pad somewhere and all that fun stuff. And that will give you specific tasks. And then there's also, down here in the bottom, these are called path missions. Path missions are, I'll talk about them a little bit later as when I switch to a different character. So anyway, here we go. I'm going to prod this guy right here. Oh, Sticky Jaw's up. Looks like this person might need some help. Now this is a kind of like an event boss here. You can get bounties to take these guys out, and as you see, their telegraphs are a lot more complex. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and flip characters here, and then I'll be starting recording again. But that kind of gives you an idea of a little bit of the combat. And uh-oh, I've got a bull who's pissed off at me. One second. Ouch. Alright, so see, his name is now Purple. So he was exposed. I could have damaged him, you know, pretty significantly if I had attacked him during that time. That is an engineer right there. She's got her two little bots. She's got her bruiser bot and her artillery bot. Basically DPS and tank robot, and she has her own abilities that she can utilize to attack the bad guys. Alright, well, so this is just the first quick little brief show of what WildStar kind of looks like and how it plays. It's a lot of fun. No real tab targeting or anything like that. You can if you want to, but it doesn't really do you any good. There's add-ons that you can download that will replace the targeting system and make it easier if you want, but really it's a lot more fun to just play it as it is. So, right. Oh, and look, here's a nice little view. How pretty. You got windmills and old castles and lots of other fun crap. The neat thing is you can go anywhere that you see. So if I wanted to, I could probably find a way to get to the top of that mountain up there or to the top of that tower. It's pretty nice. It's very open world. There's very few places that you can't get to, and there's understandable reasons why you can't, like it's a sheer vertical cliff wall or something like that. But typically you can find ways to get almost anywhere in the world if you want to get there. Oh, real quick about paths. So my guy is an explorer, so he's got a couple of path abilities as well. He can jump off of this cliff right here and take 15% less damage from falling, or he can jump off this cliff and basically stop himself in midair. It's kind of cool. And then you can use that to jump again. Alright, now I'm really flipping characters. Alright, I'll be back in a bit.